So the Battle Creek Sanitarium was John Kellogg's whole life. It was everything to him. He worked 18 hours a day. He performed surgeries. He ran like food science experiments. And this is where his ideas on like clean living start to get a little weird, a little intense. Is a lot. So the sanitarium, they're like, that's kind of like a long word. So they called it the SAN. So the SAN essentially becomes his own laboratory for John Kellogg to run some wild experiments on real life people. And not just any people, celebrities. Very wealthy celebrities. To the outside world, the SAN basically looked like a luxury retreat. It's very White Lotus, okay? Meanwhile, Dr. Kellogg had a very clear mission. Get rid of sex. Yeah, once and for all, and by any means necessary, including surgery. Now, when I say surgery, I'm not talking about, taking someone's tonsils out or like removing a bunion. What Dr. Kellogg was doing was straight up genital mutilation. He came up with a few cures that honestly sounded like, it sounds like medieval torture techniques. He was off, okay? Listen, for young boys, his go-to surgery was circumcision without anesthesia, because in his words, the pain would have a, quote, salutary effect on the mind, end quote. In other words, if it hurts bad enough, maybe they'll be too traumatized to like ever touch themselves again. Now, for grown men, he had another idea. He would sew the foreskin shut with a silver wire to prevent erections. Yeah, a real thing. He did that. An actual wire through the skin to prevent erections. I want to see a visual, but at the same time, I don't want to see a visual, but I kind of want to see a visual. He wrote, quote, "The needle to which the wire is attached is passed through from one side to the other. It is now impossible for an erection to occur," end quote. I mean, I imagine it was incredibly painful. I mean, imagine going to the doctors and leaving with your member sewed up. I was like, was he the one hit in the head with the rock? Because who comes up with that? Ugh. And for girls, Kellogg recommended burning the clitoris with carbolic acid. Just pure acid. He claimed it was excellent for stopping, quote, abnormal excitement. Oh God, why? Now, Kellogg's reason for all this was that he believed that the human body only had a limited supply of vital energy or force, and having sex drained you of this energy. It zapped your health, and it ultimately ruined your body and your soul. So, sew it up. In 1877, just 2 years after he took over the SAN, Dr. Kellogg writes and publishes a book called Plain Facts About Sexual Life. Joan actually brought it with her. She has it. As you can see, she's very pure. Do birds have clits? Is it burned off, girl? You good, girl? Okay. Yeah, I put that on my reading list because I was like, I need to know what the hell, what is he talking about here? And I mean this lovingly, but it's giving small wiener energy. I bet you Kellogg had a small wiener and he was like kind of mad and bitter about it, so it was like kind of making everyone else suffer. It's giving a little bit of that, in my opinion. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Now, you can read it if you want, do whatever you want, but I don't recommend it. It's very long and dry, okay? I'll sum it up for you. These plain facts. Pretty much what it says is, number 1, sex is bad. And the only thing worse is masturbation. Kellogg wrote that sex essentially drains your precious life energy, and masturbation, which he called self-pollution, could supposedly cause blindness, acne, epilepsy, insanity, and even death. Oh, is that why I have acne? Yeah. Okay. Kellogg fact number 2. A bland diet, like one that included dry cereal and crackers, could keep sexual urges at bay. The more flavorless your meals, the less you'll want to touch yourself, flick your bean, have sex, enjoy anything. Kellogg fact number 3. Sex should only be for procreation, never for pleasure. And if you were married, you should basically only be intimate in order to have a child, but even that was frowned upon. Best case scenario, don't even kiss your wife, okay? Because that might lead to something else. I was a little confused by all this, honestly, because I'm like, okay, if you're part of this like religious group and stuff, don't you want to procreate to make sure that your religion carries on and whatnot? So I was like, what about that though? And I don't know. He just did not want people having sex or touching themselves or eating good food. And John Kellogg, he practiced what he preached. He told the public that he had never had sex. So he was the perfect guy to speak to the perks of a celibate life. But then here's the crazy thing. John Kellogg was married. That poor woman. Yes, he was married. He was married to a woman named Ella Eaton. Now, Ella, she was from upstate New York, and she was very smart. By 19, she was already like the youngest graduate and valedictorian at Alfred University, where she got a degree in nutrition. Long story short, Ella ends up working at the San, where she and Kellogg fall in love. Or like whatever John's version of love was. I don't even know did they hold hands or was that too much? I don't know. Apparently they spent their honeymoon rereading his book together. Yeah. Plain facts about sexual life. They read it. Fun. So basically, on their honeymoon, John convinces his wife that sex was a health hazard. And they should just read instead. Very romantic, full of love. When they get back to the San, Ella puts her nutrition degree to work and becomes the head chef of the operation. She implements all of John's specific rules about diet to make sure no one eating at the San would be getting horny. I don't know, what kind of food makes you horny? Pizza. Pizza makes me horny. What else makes me horny? Hot dogs. Yeah, but none of that, right? So in her spare time, Ella, she wrote some cookbooks. Yeah. They have very fun and meatless recipes for stuff like mayonnaise for one. One time in high school, I had this history teacher. I'll never forget him. Maybe that's how I ended up here. But every day we would come into class, and I'm not kidding you, he would be at his desk with a jar of mayonnaise and a spoon, and he would just be eating it. He never talked about it. We never asked questions. We were kids. But like the classroom, you would walk in and just get this whiff of mayonnaise. And like to this day, if I smell mayonnaise, it's just like, it was so gross. I would like to know where he is now. I'm probably in prison because he talked about sex and what kind of porn he watched a lot. So I'm thinking, because if he was eating mayonnaise, obviously that made him so horny because he watched a lot of porn and he would tell us about it. So I don't know if mayonnaise actually is that safe.